Hey there, beloved Ascension pioneers. I'm back in nature. The weather is mixed. It's just started to rain. I'm here hiding under the trees. The wind is blowing. There's sunshine. It's all in the mix. So if you noticed in my last video, I wasn't able to say goodbye to you because the camera has run out of battery like I assumed. So I'm hoping this time it's a lot more diverse. But this time it's the weather that is just so intense. But amidst all of it, I still love recording outdoors now better than anything else. So I'll go and take a try. In this video, I would like to address the topic of relationships within the new and the importance of dropping all labels. Yeah, you heard me. All labels associated with how we refer to one another in relationships. You know, how we identify with ourselves, because Spirit has recently shown me how to bring more balance into our relationships. This has everything to do with the way we use labels in our lives, the way we refer to one another, like friend, companion, like a working buddy, a colleague, an acquaintance, mother, child, parenting, childhood relationships, things like that. And friend, no friend, enemy. So the thing is, in the old, we were all about either black or white, A lot of the times we were coming from the awareness of we had certain values, and I was writing about this last week, and we still, these values are very important for us, how we value ourselves, and then how these values are structured around everything in our lives, but not in a way to define ourselves, not in a way to look at those as definitions for us and our relationships. Everything that we really need to establish is intimacy, and intimacy should bind our relationships together, no matter what the label or the tag is. So in the old, we were a lot like, if this is my value around this, and then we projected this to a certain person. And if we didn't receive that back, we said, okay, this or nothing, instead of just seeing the relationship for what it is. I just wrote an article about this today. You can check it out in the information box, in the information section down below. It is a very important and short article that touches the basis on this and how to actually bring more balance to this. There's a lot of people who ask me about twin flames as well. And if you've noticed, in my recent speaking and addressing this, I've dropped the label of twin flame. Not that there's anything wrong to it, but the way we use it and the way it's been manipulated and used for, it certainly has no real value and structure to it anymore. So the real importance is seeing all relationships as sacred, because all will show us back the dynamics of spirit that is unfolding within us. And once we are on a path of surrendering our little self-life, our little, self-awareness to something much bigger, to our soul and to source running through our soul, is when we start seeing things more from a neutral, balanced way. So we need more balance workers. We need more of us who understand these things from principles of balance, not just either light or dark, which is still duality. If you feed just the light, you also feed the darkness, and vice versa. So what is important here about these labels is that we transcend them and make them something new. That we dissolve this old thinking and see all relationships as sacred, no matter what the label is. Because the moment we label it, and please do read the article below, it's more beautifully written there. I'm just trying to go with the flow, explaining this in shorter version here. The moment we label it, we stop seeing it for what it truly is. We stop the flow of love flowing through as it just is, because love just is. It isn't either black or white. So in the new, it's more about multicolors, multi-spectrum. So different rays of color, different ways of how love flows through all of our relationships. For example, if you're with someone and you say, I'm letting this person go, in the new, we really see we're just letting go the attachments to it, old beliefs, BS, belief systems, old structures we have around this, core wounds, basically. We're touching upon the very deepest core wounds now. And this has a lot to do with labeling as well, because when we do that, and once we have maybe a negative experience around this, it will show us where we're still lacking that clarity because of that inner darkness that is becoming apparent and revealed to us. So what is really important here is to understand what is happening in our relationships and this dynamics that is now in place. What I want to say here is that with these labels, we stop the flow of love, because love always flows through us naturally. And if we say, I just want to experience it this way, and this relationship maybe won't be this way, because it's not about projecting it to a certain person, in a certain relationship. It's all about having these values and living your spiritual integrity within you. And then this happens naturally without you having those expectations about it. Same goes for twin flames. A twin soul, name sounds better, much more in frequency and resonance of what it truly means. But even that, again, if we connected with a certain person, with a certain individual, again, we're lacking to see that clarity of seeing and feeling the experience exactly as it is. Not as if our value system, our beliefs, and especially core wounds that are beneath all of that. Some people say, oh, it's the mind that does that. Beyond the mind, go beyond the thoughts, is that core wound that each of us have. And until we fully address it, until we fully hold it, as it truly is in truth, then this will keep surfacing. And that's why I was writing today on my webpage, in my Facebook page, about this core wounds and inner saboteur that we all have, and our inner child that is wounded and is still crying for attention, and creates all these dramas for us to see it, to see what is still not yet in the light, and then walk fully in the new with our newness in relationships. So bringing more balance, how we can do that is feeling that everything needs to be an equal flow of exchange. So our relationships no longer become a give and take. I'll give you and you give me back. These again are expectations. So a lot of these, when we say you're my friend, our value systems are such and such, or especially, belief systems that have nothing to do with our value systems. Our value systems really, in essence, come from our soul, how our soul, wishes to share with another through sharing with ourselves. Joy, bliss, freedom of being, compassion, unconditional love. But belief systems are, if this is friendship, then you will give me this and that. Or if you are my twin flame, we have to be like this and that. So with this, we really stop the flow of what truly is, because like I said, love just is. It's really simple in essence. So how to bring more balance is just seeing every relationship without a label, because relationships will also transition. Because when you shift from within, your relationships will as well. And they can shift like this. For sometimes, I had certain clients, which I never even call clients. Every time I say we're all divine companions, lovely animal here, they usually shift. Sometimes you have a client and then they become later your friend, or vice versa. Your friendship no longer has the chemistry, because chemistry means that there's something to learn there and integrate. And once we do it, if there's nothing to learn there anymore, the chemistry will go away, because the chemistry is the natural law of attraction working through us to pulling us somewhere. Our soul wanting this certain experience through our body. So these will always transform. That's why these labels that we give to ourselves only bring us pain and sadness. We say, oh, I've lost a friendship. It's really not like that, because what you lose was never there within truth anyway. You will always gain something better, more truthful, more honest, with more divine integrity. So it's really important to bring that balance into relationship. And for example, I've recently come in this awareness with one of my relationships that is very important in my life, is how I can bring more balance into it by creating more flow, especially of abundance, between me and that person. And it showed me a way how, if there is no this component, if there is no this balance of mutual give and receive without give and take, it's happening naturally while we take some action steps that will support both. Because if we didn't do that, there will always be kind of this flow of maybe you feeling that you kind of owe this person something if you give something to them, or if they give something to you, and vice versa. They can have many different combinations. But it's really important now, what we're doing is bringing more balance into everyday lives, and especially to relationships, because it's a fun topic to talk about, for me especially, because they are the builders. Our relationships are what really make us who we are here on earth. What is important here is to be aware that we're also on earth. We already exist in spirit, but here we're kind of like experiencing this horizontal nature. Like I said, we are vertical beings having a horizontal experience. And every one of us is touching, the realities of others as well, and seeing what resonates and what does not. And, when we have resonance with someone, that usually means that we see what we already have within, and it's reflected back to us. And we're like, oh my God, I totally love this person. I respect them. I admire them. I adore them. and all that you're saying back to yourself. So instead of having that label, oh my gosh, this person is my guru or my teacher or a friend or whatever, let's just all be divine companions, and let's just know that sacred relationships is what we're stepping into without the need to label anything as such. And everything, all those values that come from soul will naturally happen in our lives, will naturally take a stand, because we're taking a stand in this new vibration. And beyond these core beliefs that make everything so black and white, there's different shades of color and tone and many different hues. This is who we truly are as beings of light. At the end of this, like I said, if you want more, go check out the article. It's not long. And at the end of this, I also want to share something with people who think that they are letting someone go and they're cutting cords. First of all, like I said, we're not letting go a person. It doesn't mean we need to cut them off. Sometimes the relationship will either transform when we walk into new energy, or maybe it will dissolve if that other person is totally not standing in alignment with you, but this will happen naturally. You don't need to cut anything. And second of all, cutting cords is a new agey belief that makes you think that you're doing something, that you're cutting someone's energy off of you. We're all energetic beings. We can never cut energy between us. But what we're doing is, if you're cutting, even the thought of it brings feeling of cutting something, so that's fear. It's like you get the image of knife or scissors, and it's kind of violent, let's so say, So it's done through fear, it's not done through love. The action of love is coming into awareness. Because if you're just cutting cords and you think, I want to let this person go and it's so negative, I'm just going to cut cords with them, and then you say so, and then just because you believe it, that doesn't make it so, because you haven't yet understood that it's the awareness that will make you come into transcending those old beliefs and patterns that touch upon base of those attachments you still have, and those beliefs that come from your wounded core, as the what comes out of it. So it's really important to really discern, to see the difference between the two. Cutting cords is a belief that you're doing something, but you're not. Because we're all one. We will always energetically interact with one another, but we need to do it through love. And just by coming into awareness of what you're feeling, of what someone has gifted you, with a vision about yourself and your darker side sometimes even, what needs to come to light, you will see that it's that negative attachment you're releasing, and you cannot do that by just cutting cords. So that's a really old belief. It has nothing to do with new and our new self and new earth. In the new, we come to awareness of what we are truly releasing, and then we release it with love, and then it dissolves naturally. And then, like I said, relationship can either transform or completely dissolve if it's not on your path anymore. It's all about sharing, and love is about sharing, no matter what kind of way. So let's not define what we have to share with a certain person. It will come naturally. Let's not define what we need to experience. Let the experience present to ourselves naturally. And let's then see it for what it is and have immense gratitude. So this is very important for you to understand. Cutting cords is basically nothing. It's an empty belief of the old, trying to make people believe that they're coming into self-empowerment with it. But there's no empowerment there if you haven't really gotten the awareness of what you're truly releasing and what is there within you that is not of your true self, with a capital S. So I hope this video was in resonance, that it brought you a lot of blessings and gifts. And this is what I tend to do, to gift you with my own spirit awareness that comes through me. There was a lot of clarity coming in recently, and boy, I feel what we're doing is, when we're coming into these clarity moments, is something really powerful. It's really amazing to come into such awareness, and especially recently in the eclipse season. So we're all divine companions, we're all fellow travelers on this journey of the soul, and this is who we truly are. You gotta find your soul first. You gotta integrate it and fully live your life as it is within you. Take care. I love you lots, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.